Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Cebollero, and I got to tell you, I'm really excited to be here today and kind of talk to you and kind of give you a little bit of my advice, a little bit of my wisdom as we start to talk about your professional development. So when we think about what's happening now in the world, we're conducting a webinar, we're conducting a class via the internet. And I think that one of the things that's interesting here is as I share my experiences with you and as I share my thoughts with you about your professional development, everything that you could do to make yourself better could be done on the internet. And one of the things that's happening nowadays is that you can get a whole college degree without going to the traditional brick and mortar classrooms, and I think that that's what's really exciting. So as I come here today and talk to you about your professional development and how you capitalize on the experiences that you've had as an EMT and paramedic, I'm really excited for those opportunities. So if we think about our role as a paramedic, there is just so much going on. We have to be able to be there on what could be the worst day of somebody's life. And then we've got to be able to take care of them, not just be there. And when we think about our continuing education, we really have to keep ourselves at the top of our game to ensure that we're able to deliver the highest quality of patient care possible. And sometimes that's difficult. But it seems in EMS, we take a little bit of umbrage sometimes when we have to do this continuing education. We take a little bit of umbrage sometimes when we got to sit in front of our medical director for that once a month meeting or whatever that is so he can impart his knowledge on us. But one of the things that I want you to consider is, what type of provider do you want to be? Do you want to be the best provider at the top of the level and be able to understand the pathophysiology and the disease process and how to manage? Or do you just want to kind of be one of those protocol paramedics or a shotgun paramedic? Maybe you pull the trigger and hopefully you hit something. We got into this job for a reason. We got into this job to develop ourselves and to deliver the highest quality of patient care possible. And sometimes we don't really put ourselves in the best positions to make that happen for ourselves. Now, one of the things that you got to think about is don't sell yourself short and allow yourself to develop. Well, maybe you want to sit in the truck for the next 20 years, or maybe you want to go ahead and take your career to the next level. What are your goals? What are your visions? What are your plans to reach the goals? So one of the things that I want to talk to you about is how you set a plan for your professional development. One of the things to think about is, what is your vision as a professional? What is it that you want to achieve in your career? One of the things that I thought about in my career, and I've been in the healthcare and the EMS field for just over 30 years now. So when we think about where we see ourselves, we don't think about that we're going to be 50 years old. I just turned 52 years old. I didn't think when I was 20 I'd be 52 years old. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't think about it. So now what you have to start to think about is that you're going to be 50 years old one day. And what it is that you want to achieve, or what is it that you want to achieve that's going to put yourself in a position that when you reach the 40s and the 50s, you're in a better position for yourself, you're in a better position for your family, and certainly EMS can do that. And if EMS is the field that you want to be in, it's really important that you now start to think about, how do you round your career out? You've got to be able to be strong in your clinical side. You've got to be able to be strong in your operational knowledge. You've got to be strong in the billing knowledge, and certainly customer service and being able to engage your stakeholders is something that's very, very important as well. But maybe EMS isn't your cup of tea. So one of the things that you want to start to think about now is, where do you branch out from? Well, one of the things that people go into and they think is a natural stepping stone from EMS is nursing. And there's a lot of people that are in EMS who say that they want to become nurses. And I think that that's okay. If that's where you want to go, I think that is a natural stepping stone from EMS. But one of the things you want to think about is, how do you get there? I work 40 hours a week. Who works 40 hours a week in EMS? I work 3 on 1 week, 4 on the next week, or I do ABC shift 24 hours or whatever that is. When do I have time now to go to college? When we think about the platforms that we have here, and, certainly the sponsors of this educational platform, Making Education Possible, is really an opportunity for you to take advantage of making education possible. So when you're sitting in the truck, go ahead and start doing classes and start reading. And little by little, make it a goal that one class a semester. is something that you're going to at least try to achieve. I mean, do you have to go to school full time? You know, we got kids and we got part-time jobs and we've got to make the ends meet. We got to put food on the table. You know, those are all the things that we think about. And then little by little, months are going by, and little by little, years are going by. And the next thing you know, you're 30 years old, 35 years old, 40 years old, and you wonder where your life has been. One of the things that we don't spend time in is investing in our professional development. And are you growing? And are you developing? And this really only happens, and I talked about it before, this really only happens with your vision. What's the vision that you see for yourself? What is it that you want to picture yourself doing? Now, the vision is very, very important for your professional development. Let me tell you why. I want you to think about your front door. Now I want you to think about your car. When I asked you to do that, you didn't see the letters D-O-O-R or you didn't see the letters C-A-R. You actually pictured your car and your front door. Well, we are individuals that are wired to think in pictures. And if you don't have a vision of where you see yourself, how do you know when you're going to get there? So develop a personal vision so you can see where you're heading. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to set goals to reach your vision. What is it that you have to do? What is it that you have to attain? What is it that you have to achieve to make your vision come true? What goals do you set for yourself? In what period of time? Remember, goals are dreams with deadlines. So you have a vision of what you want to be. You have goals now to reach your vision and put time to those goals. I said a minute ago, maybe you take one class a semester until you're able to take more. One of the things you're going to realize is there's 3 semesters in a year. So you're taking 3 classes a year. That's 9 credit hours a year. So at least at the end of the year, you would have something, okay? The next thing you do, you have a vision, you have goals. The next thing you need to do is you need to set plans to reach the goals. Now that you have a vision, you have your goals that you got to achieve to reach the vision. What's your plans to reach the goals? Now, one of the things that I want to share with you is it's not the goals that make you a better person. It's the journey you take in reaching the goals that make you a better person. And one of the things that you need to think about is to say, you know what, I'm going to take 2 classes over the next year. Okay, well, what's my goal for reaching those? Well, one of the things I have to think about is when do I have time to study? Well, if I'm working 24-hour shifts, maybe I can do an hour every shift. If I'm working 3 days on and 4 days off in a high-performance EMS system that uses system status management, maybe I can get on my computer. Maybe I can get on my phone. People are doing college classes on their cell phones now. And maybe I could read a little bit here and there. But I worked in a high-performance EMS system, and I would read a matchbook cover because I was so bored sometimes. So one of the things you need to think about is how you do that. A vision, set a goal for yourself, and then set plans to reach your goals. You know, our professional development is very, very important. And if nursing school is where you want to get to, then it's important that you find ways to do that. You know, there are great resources out there for you to achieve a degree in nursing. And the Excelsior program is something that is very, very big. And this was made for paramedics. Excelsior College is out of New York State. And if you're a paramedic, you can automatically get into that nursing program. It's very, very unique. This is an online program that you work at your own pace. Now, what's great about that is you may say, wait a minute, I don't know that I can work at my own pace. I'm more of a traditional student. Well, again, the folks at Making Education Possible have made it easy for you now to reach those goals of becoming a nurse. And I've been working with the folks at, the leaders of Making Education Possible for over a decade. And if there's any folks that truly believe in your professional development and wanting you to achieve, it's really them. And that's one of the reasons that I volunteered my time to come and talk today, because I believe in the leadership of this organization and how they make education possible, how they make it easy, how they want you to succeed. Because when you succeed, they succeed. So maybe nursing isn't your cup of tea. And sometimes in EMS, we just think that we've got to become nurses. And I don't know that that's necessarily true. I mean, the things that you need to think about is you have a strong background in medicine. You've got a strong background in the EMS emergency medicine from the field side. A lot of people are now taking degree preparation for getting healthcare degrees, healthcare management degrees. And certainly a bachelor's in healthcare management is something that is really, really important that I think that you can capitalize on. Your experience in emergency medicine from the field side really gives you a perspective. How easy is it now for you to take that knowledge, and you really have to learn a lot about your job, but how easy is it to take that knowledge and now move into a hospital and start to use your experience in hospital administration? It's not very far-fetched. I mean, one of the things that you've got to think about is you've got to learn everything there is to know about being in the hospital, being in the field, and how that business runs. And again, that's where your clinical knowledge is important. That's where your operational knowledge is important. That's where billing knowledge comes into place. And even if you're not in the administrative side, in the supervisor side, there's no reason why you can't learn those things when it comes to your professional development, and just kind of get with your leadership to say, I eventually want to be able to take, classes in healthcare management. Can I do an internship here? Can I work within the billing department, or whatever it is, so you can gain that experience? But as you now prepare for a degree in healthcare administration, as you now prepare for a degree in business administration, they're going to give you the classes necessary that you're able now to move yourself into a position to kind of learn those things that you need to know. It's really important for you to think about your growth. And how long have you been in the EMS field? Maybe you're new. Maybe you're like me and you've been doing it your whole life. You've got to be able to set a plan for yourself for your professional development. One of the things that we think about is burnout is so big in the EMS career field. And a lot of times it's because we don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're going to do. We don't know, we kind of feel like we're stagnant. We kind of feel like we're in a dead-end job. And when we think about the growth in EMS, the big question has been, is EMS a career field, or is EMS a stepping stone? And I got to tell you, as an EMS leader, I've seen a lot of people that have moved from the field into different careers, have moved from the field and have gone into nursing, have moved from the field and gone into pharmaceutical sales. I mean, so many things that I could list. But you have to be able to develop that plan. And here's the thing that I want to say to you as well. I've coached a lot of people in my career who've wanted to move on to something else. And they think about that it has to be this big elaborate plan. Well, first thing I got to do is I got to be able to figure out my job. Stop all that stuff. The only thing that you have to do is start. You've got to be able to put yourself in a position that you can start and you could now do what you have to do. Don't think about the what ifs, and don't think about the, I've got tos, and don't think about just go ahead and start. And if it's just one class a semester, take one class a semester, because at least you're not wasting that time and you're gaining a leg up on all those classes that you need to take. There are some great resources out there that will allow you to use the CLEP exams to gain college credit. And again, this is an opportunity for you to, utilize your knowledge, utilize your self-study to gain up to 30 college credits of prerequisites without even stepping foot into a college. And think about that. We've got to take the Englishes. We've got to take the psychologies. We've got to take the sociologies. Well, what about if I can read the book myself and just challenge that exam? There's that opportunity for you. Again, all you have to do is just start. And it's places like this that you're able to get the information necessary for you to move forward. Sometimes it's really about fear. Sometimes it's the fear of the unknown, and I don't know what to expect, and how am I going to do all this? But if you don't know how to get started, if you don't know how to overcome those challenges, it's always the fear of, how am I going to do this? How do I overcome this? What if this happens? What if that happens? Don't let the what if monster keep you from developing in your professional career. You've got to be able to start and put that fear aside. Remember, fear is just a story that we tell ourselves. And we've got to be able to put that fear away and start using our positive thinking to make sure that you get to the next step. I got to tell you, you owe it to yourself to become the very best possible. A lot of people will tell me, I wasn't meant for greatness. And I always say, that's just BS. Everybody is meant for greatness. Back in the old days, Mom would say, you could be anything you want to be. And that's true. but you have to believe in yourself. And sometimes, it's the leaders that are around you who have belief in you before you have belief in yourself. And what I know about the EMS field and what I know about the dedicated people that are in it, I believe that if you become an EMT and if you become a paramedic and if you can work with somebody on what could be the worst day of their life, you have what it takes to take that next step. You want to develop into the very best that you can be possible. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of great resources that you can do that. And I'm challenging you to try to do one thing this next semester for yourself and see how easy it is. See how fun it can be. And know that you can get to the level, you can get to the goal, you can achieve what you want to achieve in your professional career just by you starting. I got to tell you, I want to thank you for the opportunity. And this is this opportunity for you to come in and take yourself to that next level. I want to wish you good luck. If you need to reach out to me, my contact information is on this webpage, and I want to be able to be a resource to you to help guide you in your career. But I tell you, at least watching this video is a great first step. And I wish you good luck, and I want you to stay safe.